She's April.
And she's Molly.
And we are
the Book Besties.
Trigger warning.
Your Book Besties are April Biggs.
I don't understand chickens. They only have one hole. They like poop eggs, but they also like poop, and they like pee poop, and I don't like it.
I'm two-fisting it.
We forgive you. There's grace for that.
I'm out of wine, too.
It's raining middle fingers.
Hallelujah, it's raining middles. Nice. And Katie.
And there's Katie.
Like, and Katie.
So, besties, we're not hosting this week.
No, we are not. Katie is guest hosting for the second time.
Yes.
And so this one is not about kids with cancer.
So I wanted to talk to you, April, but I told you it was going to be on camera.
Okay.
I think I figured this book out.
What book is it?
Cain's Jawbone.
Okay.
It's the one that it's printed out of order and you have to figure it out.
I haven't heard of this.
It's a mystery.
That's too much stress. Nope.
That makes my brain hurt.
But
Same.
What's going to make your brain really hurt is I have to.
Oh.
What? No.
You have to...
No.
Yeah, because I I'm going to mute the bleep me out, Tom, so the fans can't figure this out and cheat my cheat. They live through here and they're not. So all I have to do is
don't do that.
Figure out this damn book.
But Molly, so if you do as a children's librarian, I repair books a lot because kids are rough on books. So
gross.
You can repair it. You can put it back together and it won't be ever as good, but you can still repair it.
I think I figured it out.
Mm. If you figured it out, then you shouldn't need to take it apart.
Bro, my eyesight's not that good.
Then you didn't figure out the answer. You figured out a trick.
Why would they put a trick in there then?
I don't fucking know, Molly. I didn't even know this book existed. But I'll tell you what, if motherfuckers come up in the library and take apart our book so they can figure it out.
No, do not take this book apart, gang, unless you physically own it. This is my copy. This is not a library copy. We do not disrupt library-owned things. We love library-owned things. We give them back the way we borrowed them. This is my copy. I do what I want with my copies.
I just want to say, Molly, you're the only person in my life that I let get away with calling it a library. I once attended a webinar that the presenter was a librarian and referred to herself as a librarian and the library. And I was like, no, I'm out. I got to show you guys my cup. So my other bestie, I have
fake news.
I have 4 besties. There's 2 of them right there.
We're the only ones. She's lying to you all.
Listen, Dawn's only listened to 1 episode, so she might get the boot. Nah, that's not true.
Shots fired.
Please.
That's not true. She's been around for a long time.
She's been around a lot longer than most of us.
She got me this cup for Christmas, introverted but willing to discuss books. But this is the part I have to show you. This is the first time I've ever seen our website on an item. So she had the person make it put our website on there. And I was like, oh, this is so cute. I love it. And then when I saw that on there, I cried. That's our website on a cup. So now I want to get merch.
Now you need merch on the Patreon. Mm-hmm.
We do. We will be launching a Patreon later this season. So
how many ounces is it?
Not as many as my big ass bottle that I take with me to work. I don't know. I think it's meant to be like a coffee cup. But I don't know.
I mean, we all got sippies tonight.
This is just water, though. I need to rehydrate after my day.
I'm two-fisting it.
For everyone who's listening, Katie, her first thing whenever one of us is sick is make sure you drink water.
Mm-hmm. Listen, you either didn't poop too much, or you didn't have enough water. Those are literally the 3 things that will fix your so many problems in your life.
Katie, have you ever seen Scrubs?
Yeah, everything comes down to poo. That's one of my favorites. Yeah. It's really funny because I do a lot of colorectal. So, yeah. Jesus. I sing that everything comes down to poo a lot.
2 people? 2 patients?
Yeah. So There is a legit. I'm going to need you to put this in the links. There is a legit poo chart that I reference very frequently. So it tells you like
poo chart. Got it.
It's the poo chart. It's so helpful though. Like when patients are like, "Well, my poo looks weird," I'm like, "Let's pull up the poo chart."
Oh my gosh!
And then we look at it.
You wanna hear the least attractive way I've ever been flirted with?
Yes.
In college, yes, right? Everyone does. In college, remember when AIM was a thing, AOL Instant Messenger? So I was in England, and there was another international student, another American student who was there, and he sent me a link through AIM, and it was ratemypoop.com. And I'm not kidding you. People take pictures of their poop, and other people rate it. And he thought that would be something I would find attractive.
No one knows how to seduce you like ratemypoop.com.
I have no words. I rate a lot of poop.
Surprise her this Valentine's Day with our cards from ratemypoop.com. We also have t-shirts, stuffies, and if you're spicy, toys for your dresser.
No, they have merch on ratemypoop.com. Let's look. Right, I got 2 computers going. I'm looking it up right now.
Gosh.
On my daughter's computer, no less. It's not her school computer though, so it's the one I bought her. It's still it's just on Reddit now.
Aww. Well, that's sad. Now, okay.
Needless to say, if I was going to have a romance in England, it was not with that guy.
Word.
If we get 1,000 people on Patreon, I will do a special Nurse Katie only shirt with the poo chart and ratemypoo.com underneath and a Nurse Katie emblem underneath it. 1,000 people on Patreon.
I want my face with my Major Tom headphones on.
1,000 people have to be on Patreon first. And then we're going to do 10 of them, and once they're gone, gang.
Can I be exempt from this narrative? Because I don't.
Like I said, I'm doing it. I know. When we talk about poop, April's like, gross. I'm all the time.
Deeply uncomfortable by poop.
Okay, let's talk about the book instead.
To poo, which is also poo.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about poo.
This book. That's our book this week. Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll. And we picked this book because Katie read it in the fall and was like, "Oh my gosh, this book is so good. We have to read it." And I was like, "Cool. We wanted to have you on next season. Wanted to talk about this book and host." And she was like, "Yes." And then she finished the book and said, "Nah."
Yeah.
As an author, this ending, I have never been so mad at an ending as I'm mad that I've been at this ending.
Well, like, I think the movie. I watched the movie. I know neither of you did, but I watched the movie, and they changed the ending there, and they didn't make it better. Like, at least make it better. So
we'll have to talk about it.
Well, I don't know because we're not hosting.
I'm hosting, bitches. Lock in. All right, you ready? Got your bells? Yeah. Make sure you got your bells.
And my goat.
And my fidgets.
My goat is at work. And I have to tell you this. You guys will truly appreciate this. So I have an office mate named Anna. Our desks sit back to back, but there's like a relatively big cupboard between us. But so we dictate on our dictaphones. And it does pick up a lot of background noise. And in one of her dictations, you could hear my screaming goat. It was just one of them days, and I was like just holding him down nonstop. So it was like, and it was like totally. Anna was like, "I got an email from transcription asking if somebody was being hurt," and I was like, "Oh, it was probably my screaming goat." She was like, "Okay, I'll let him know." So kind of want to like
worth every penny I've spent on him.
I want to email transcription and be like, "Hey, sorry for my screaming goat. It's been kind of a long week."
XOXO, gossip girl.
XO, yeah. So my email signature says, like, I have like all my fancy letters and all my, this is my
your titles,
all of my things, all the things, my logo and everything, and then underneath
that, logo.
Well, like for my company that I work for.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow.
Yeah, no, not me personally. But like underneath it in bold, it says, "What book are you currently reading?" And then I update it to what book it is. I've had one person respond to it. I'm like, you guys suck so bad. Like, does nobody read the signatures of emails?
Nobody reads. But nobody reads in general. Yeah. Nobody reads in general.
I work for city government, so we have to have a standardized email signature. Ours all look exactly the same. Same font, same size.
I still write my emails like I did in the military. So I have the V/R. It's programmed in me. Yeah, I don't know how to not write emails that way.
One of the people that is a direct report of mine, he's in the military, and he signs all of his emails like that. I'm like,
what does that mean? V/R.
Very respectfully.
Oh my God, I'm going to use that.
Big V/little r.
My favorite thing to put in an email is thanks for your feedback, which is pretty much me saying, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want.
I used to write, my favorite one I used to write is interesting. I'm going to read this later, even though I already know it. Because I used to get people that would like reference manuals back to me.
I want to read I want to write, words. I want to respond to a very long email, TLDR, too long to read.
So I worked with a physician who said, if I ever open an email and there's more than 3 lines, I don't even read it. I delete it. So I'm like, you can't do that. You're like a physician. He's like, I don't care. He's like, if it's that important, they'll call me. I'm like, that's like not okay. And he was like, meh. I mean, he was like so ready to retire by the time he retired. He would be sitting in his office like this. Sound ass asleep between patients. He'd be like, hey.
Was he old school? Was he the guy that goes?
Well, yeah, and he was in the military.
He'd be like, make a nurse do it, right? That's the guy.
No. Not like that. No. He was just old school. Like, he had zero bullshit tolerance. Mm-hmm. He was in the Navy, and he worked at the Mayo Clinic. Freaking smart, though. Like, you could ask him about any patient. He'd be like, oh, she has da-da-da-da-da, and she recurred in this year. And I'm like, I had toast for breakfast. So, like, just crazy smart. So, crazy smart. So.
The fact that you remember your breakfast is better than I'm doing right now. Yeah. So how about first question?
Okay.
12 minutes.
Well, no, we've got to do a synopsis first.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yes, I have the synopsis.
Are you new here?
Yes, actually, I am. This is my first day.
Yeah. So, gang, like Molly says, I'm going to get real close to my computer. Gang.
You got to get real in there.
Okay.
You got to do the Molly thing. Look at me. Look at me, children. We're going to have a conversation about now.
Look at me. Okay, look at me. You're about to enter what our text messages look like.
I think they already have seen.
You've been warned. So, okay, ready for the synopsis? Okay.
No.
Full disclosure, I did steal part of this from Wiki because it was pretty spot on. Mm-hmm. And I was struggling with this book. So, okay.
Well, we'll cite it because we don't break copyright because I'm a librarian and I won't let us.
Fair. Okay.
She's the grown up.
She's the Ravenclaw. Okay.
Fair.
At first glance, 28-year-old Ani Fanelli appears to have a perfect life. She works as an editor at a glamorous New York City women's magazine and has a loving fiancé from a wealthy family. Yet Ani also hides a secret. As a teenager, she underwent a series of horrifying and emotionally crippling events, including a school shooting, that have continued to impact her well into her adult years. During the course of this novel, it's also revealed that Ani was gang raped when she was 14. She tried reaching out for help after the assault, but was subjected to cruel bullying and taunting by her peers who did not believe her. As the story progresses, Ani begins to question whether she is truly happy with who she has become, and if her current life is one she wants and needs. Woven between the two timelines of Ani as an adult and Tiffany as a youth, we are brought to gut-wrenching realities in several fronts in this wildly popular book. We should have started with trigger warning. Yeah.
All of them.
And triggers. Also spoiler alerts.
Yeah, lots of spoilers alerts.
If you fuckers forgot where you were.
Yeah.
Molly, stop calling our fans fuckers.
Katie, are you here nor there on the fuckery?
So I love that fuckers is gender neutral. That needs to be a merch somewhere. That needs to be a sticker. Fuckers
is gender neutral. And that's my line.
Yeah. So
fuckers gender neutral.
Besties is also gender neutral.
True.
Less,
okay.
But yes.
So
I've never heard a man go, "What up, bestie?"
Oh, Tom's best friend calls him Bestie.
Aww.
But that's also, sweet. They went on a date before Tom and I went on a date, so who knows? That's a story for another time.
That is a muddy line we're not talking about right now. Next time when Tom's on, muddy lines with best friends.
My husband's going to kill me.
We love you, Tom.
We do.
Oh, man. I think he was already prepared for this episode to be a shit show because I literally am laughing all day long because of our group text.
I mean, he's known me 10 plus years. If he's surprised about the words coming out of my mouth now, I do not know where he's been.
Denial.
So back to this story at hand. Trigger warnings.
Yeah, for real.
Gang rape, depression, suicide, school shootings, abuse,
sexual assault,
I mean, it's a lot, guys. This book is
drug and alcohol abuse in children and adults.
Yeah.
I mean, I text these two twice, I think, and I'm like, I'm taking a break. This book was really rough for me.
Yeah.
Real rough for me. And y'all know my life has not been.
And I read it as an audiobook, and you did too, Molly. Did you, Katie?
So I did, yep.
All three of us read it as audiobook. Okay. I did check out the book from the library, and this is the Netflix cover.
And I have the original cover.
I mean, she looks exactly how I picture her.
Not me. Ani is blonde.
Yeah, and big boobs.
She's not big booby enough. Also, I realized that I'm older than her, and that's just rude.
You're older than me.
So rude. Oh, shots fired.
I'm just saying, if we're making observations.
Fuck you.
I can't not be younger than you. How do
you know what? Moving on!
I don't understand how you want me to fix this. I cannot repair that patch in our friendship.
Be born earlier.
Okay, let me try. It's not working. Science, Katie?
Nada.
No. All right. Questions then.
Okay. So, I kind of broke this down into a lot of nonsense in my notes, but it does make a little bit of sense.
I mean,
so
the website is
pretty much what Molly does every week.
Yeah. So,
and it still fucking gets listens, so we're here.
The first thing we're going to talk about is because it does kind of like punch you in the face in like the first 10 pages is the sexual explicitness of this book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Word.
So on page 8 of this book, she talks about their definition of kinky / weird sex.
Right.
Yeah, where she says an electric shock to my P word, because I don't say that word in public.
Pussy.
No. With with a ball gag in my mouth to stifle my screams. So that's like,
and for him, doggy style is what he considers kinky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it just really sets the tone.
I find it surprising that
smells of trauma.
Yeah. But I find it so surprising that she enjoys, maybe I just don't understand it, but she enjoys such violent sex because she was gang raped. So I would think that she wouldn't. Yep. I mean, I would think that she would. I mean, if anything, I would expect that she wouldn't like sex at all.
Right.
The first experience with sex. The first experience with sex is violent. Yeah. So she doesn't know how to interpret it any other way. Her child brain had to make it okay.
Well, that's very 50 Shades of Grey.
Her child, I mean, she was 14 and she didn't tell anybody she was raped and she had to rationalize it because these people were trying to still be her friends.
Well, so she apologizes. Okay. She apologizes to the one of her rapists because she liked him and she didn't want him to be mad that
she slept with somebody else.
that she hooked up with, quote unquote, with someone else. But the truth is that she was intoxicated and like not really conscious. She was not able to give consent. There's no way.
No way.
And the interesting thing, the thing that I found interesting, I'm sorry to jump ahead about the gang rape, is that it wasn't all vaginal penetration.
No.
So one of the guys goes down on her.
Mm-hmm. Which is weird.
Yeah, I don't know. And then one of the guys penetrates her orally. Forcibly. Yeah. And what I thought was interesting about that is how many people do not consider that rape. Like even her mom is like, a blowjob isn't done to you. That's something you do.
You give.
Give. And so, like, even the boys themselves didn't really even think of the fact that what they were doing was actually rape because they didn't have her consent. And I've never read a book that had rape in it that was part of it. So I actually did think that was interesting. But it was really hard to read.
It's really rough read.
You know, it's within the first 100 pages of this book too. Like I have, I made a note here, you know, that's on page 73. So we're not, you know, and then like kind of
no punches back.
Yeah, none. And I don't know if that's part of why I was so intrigued by this book or part of why I was so disturbed by this book. I think it's definitely a component of both where I was like, I can't stop listening to this, but I have to listen to this. Like, I just was so sucked in.
And that's kind of how I felt at the end. Like, I didn't want to stop listening either. Not just because I was ready for it to be over, but because the book does really suck you in. I mean, it really, really does. And you don't actually know that the school shooting occurred until like way late in the book.
Like that scared the shit out of me because you didn't. There was no preamble. There was no preamble.
No.
I was in the parking lot of the hospital. It was when I was going to one of the further hospitals from me. So it's like about an hour and 10-minute commute. I was in the garage in the hospital when it happened. And I texted the doctor that I was with and I was like, hey, traffic's bad. Gonna be about 20 minutes late. Cause I was like, I cannot not come in. And I was like, in my car, I thought, I swear to God, if somebody walks by this car, they're gonna think I'm having a heart attack.
Panic
but
attack.
I was just like sucked in. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, it happened when I pulled in the parking lot at work too. And I texted Katie and I was like,
yeah.
School shootings hit me differently, not just as a mom, but as an educator. And I don't even know if this is on your list to talk about, Katie, but when we were in high school, we were juniors in high school when Columbine happened. And so I think just being in what grade were you in, Molly? Were you in 10th or 9th?
What year was that?
99?
98, 99. Yeah.
99.
I was a freshman.
Yeah. So
I was a freshman in high school.
I think being in high school when something like that happens, it's just like, it changes you, you know? I think that sadly, I think some kids are numb to it now because they do so many of the drills and things and, you know, it can't happen here. Well, a 6-year-old just shot a teacher literally 20 minutes from where I live.
Yeah.
And
so
he had been threatening her for weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, and they just released that they actually checked his backpack that morning. They got a tip and they still didn't find the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't know. Sorry. Like when we read, I'm sorry to do this, Chezzy. I'm sorry for the spoilers, but your book's been out almost a year. So Chezzy's book, Cats and Yammer, that's the twist in it. And I texted Molly and was like, this is hard for me. This just hits me differently. And after we finished filming that episode with Chezzy, we talked about it. And I was like, yeah, that for me is very, like, it's scary because that's the reality of schools right now, which is so unfortunate. And I told Katie this story, but I haven't told Molly, so I'm going to share the story on the pod. In college, I took a debate class, and we got paired with somebody randomly, and I got paired with this girl who was pre-law, so she was, you know, practicing.
Argumentative?
Yes, very much so. And I knew she was from out of state, that she she didn't go to school in our state. And so the class voted on what we wanted our topic to be. And we would have to debate both sides of the issue. So pro and con. And we would face different teams in the class. And the class voted to do gun control. And my debate team, the two of us, we won both sides of the argument. But here's what I want to tell you. While we were doing this research, she disclosed to me that she had a dentist appointment the morning of Columbine, and that was her high school.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
So she was not there that morning, but nobody was going to out-debate her on gun control because both sides of the issue, she had done so much research on it, and their school had done so many things after that happened. But that's why she actually went out of state to school. She was like, I need to fly away from here. Like,
do you keep up with her? Like, is she like fighting
gun
violence
honestly,
now?
I couldn't even tell you what her name is. I don't remember. It was a summer class, so I was only in it for 6 weeks. We weren't in the same major, so it was just the only class I had with
things. I really hope she's doing big things.
Yeah.
I really do.
I mean, I never saw her after that. That was like my summer of sophomore year, and I never saw her after that. So, I mean, she was pre-law, and I was becoming an English teacher, so we were in two different worlds. It just was that one elective. So
books like this, like Colleen Hoover, and I think this is like the draw of Colleen Hoover too, is the shock and awe, right?
Yeah. Right.
As someone that has experienced trauma, I don't find it alluring, and I don't find it content for books. I understand when we need it for like descriptive reasons, or but when we're using it just salaciously to use it just salaciously, it feels unnecessary.
But I don't think that this book was poorly written, though.
No, I'm not saying that. It's just,
and Colleen Hoover, as much as like it ends with us was enough for me. Like I'm good with Colleen Hoover. Like that was it for me. Like I know what she's about now, and I don't think I'll probably revisit her. That girl can fucking write.
Word. And
that book made me sympathetic for somebody who was abusing his wife. Like, what the fuck?
And I'm not saying it's bad writing. What I'm saying is we're diving into a new genre where we're using trauma and these things that broke so many of us growing up, and now we're using it as entertainment.
Yeah, and I mean, great that we're having conversations about these things happening, but like, not in this context. Like this book was two different books to me. It was the girl who survived a traumatic gang rape and made a life for herself. And it was the girl who was at a school that had a school shooting, and it happened to be one of her closest friends that was the aggressor and was the shooter. And she survived that. That's two different stories. And it's the two storylines resemble so many other books out there. Yeah. And then you put them together, and I just felt like there wasn't, like, that didn't go together.
So when I finished this book, I want to talk about the ending and like the book as a whole.
I love that we've completely abandoned all of Katie's questions.
Like, right. No, well, that's what I was getting.
So this is like how I participate when I listen to you guys. So like, you know, when on Tuesdays when you're like getting all these like texts, this is why I wanted to host, because I wanted to see what you guys had to say and like still be able to actively be. So please, as you were.
This is live entertainment for you.
Yeah, I'm like totally sucked in. Go ahead. I'm drinking my wine. I'm having a great time. Go.
I want to talk about the book as a whole attached to the ending. Okay. Now, this ties into what you're saying, April, and I'll explain my whole thought bubble. This author ruined the ending. Can we all agree that?
Oh, 100%. Yes, threw it away. Threw it away.
Because it has that Gone Girl vibe, right?
And that's what I thought the whole time I was reading. I was like, damn, this is what Gillian Flynn would write.
So I'm going to tell you exactly what she probably should have wrote. And I think is on a cutting room floor somewhere. But I think they told her it was too intense. I think how this book probably should have ended is we get Ani getting everything she wanted from that video. A fiance, she gets away from the wedding like she planned, and then she smiles. And we get a series of flashbacks. Ani encouraging the boys to shoot up the school. Ani coaxing the boys into... And Ani had set everything up.
Shut the fuck up.
I think I texted Katie that I would have liked the ending to have been...
That's how this book should have ended.
If the twist was that she was involved.
Ani orchestrated all of this. That's exactly how that book should have felt.
Mhm.
Ani orchestrated all of this as soon as she went to that new school to making new life for herself.
Mhm.
That is exactly how that book should have ended.
Yeah, I
That
agree.
would have been
leaves-
so good. Yeah,
That's how exactly how it should have ended.
I've read 2 books like that the whole time. Well, and Gone Girl isn't even one of them I was including, but actually, there's a couple books by Gillian Flynn that have that twist.
And a twist.
But I've read a few books, and one actually is about a school shooting, and there is that twist that like the girl actually did shoot this person. It like she killed her boyfriend when the gun is handed to her because he was a dick. I wanted Ani to be one of the shooters. Like I wanted her to at the very least, I wanted her to shoot the guy who ended up being paralyzed.
Yeah.
But
she would never. That's not her character. Her character is a manipulator, right?
Right.
And for us to get that last flashback would finish this story. It would
100%.
save the rest of it.
So the
100%.
movie actually ends with them breaking up like they do in the book, which is stupid. But the whole affair with the teacher doesn't happen in the movie at all, which I mean, liked.
It wasn't necessary in the book, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
But it was like a huge point of all of it.
Yeah. He's very small character in her adult life. Like they meet at the restaurant and that's it. They never engage again.
Socially out.
Yes. Yeah. And so they break up at their rehearsal, and then she writes and releases an article for New York Times Magazine about how it's entitled I'm a Survivor Too, and it's about the rape and how all the things that she's overcome. And then she goes on the Today Show and she goes all these shows, and then she runs into this woman who says, Ani Finelli, right? And she's like, yeah, that's me. And then what's the guy's name that raped her? Like the main one, the one that ends up paralyzed? Dean. She says that she had covered Dean for whatever paper or magazine she writes for when it comes to gun control, because he's like a big proponent for gun control in the movie. And she's like, I really hope your 15 minutes of fame are as good as don't undo all of the lifetime of good that he's done. And Ani said, oh, what's your name again? And the girl starts telling her, she's like, never mind. I'll just remember you as the woman that I told to go fuck herself in the middle of wherever they were. The middle of Fifth Avenue. So they changed the ending, but it's not any better. Like I wanted Ani's a sociopath. Like they talk about Arthur. Is that his name? Her friend. Yeah. They talk about Arthur being a sociopath, and that's why he planned this, and he brought in Ben and all this stuff. 100% the sociopath in this book is Ani.
Is Ani.
Yep.
100%. And she's an unreliable narrator.
Oh, 100%. That's why I was waiting for the twist. You've read Gone Girl, haven't you, Katie?
Negative.
What?
I don't like shit like this.
No.
Dragons.
That's true.
This book traumatized me. I don't even know why I chose this book. Like, I got sucked in. You know what it was? I saw the preview on Netflix. Oh, that looks good. I'll put it on the radio. I have a 14-year-old. This book hit so many spots for me. No.
Me too.
Okay, so next season, you get to come on and we'll talk about dragons.
Yes. All the dragons.
All the dragons.
This was so heavy.
Did you see the movie for Gone Girl or any of that? Or I'm just going to
totally don't like those type of movies either.
Well, I'm going to spoil it then. The whole time in Gone Girl, you are absolutely 100% certain that he killed her. He fucking killed her. He fucking did it.
Affleck. He absolutely did.
He did it.
Ben Affleck's
he absolutely did it.
Face.
And then you turn the page about maybe halfway through, and she's alive. She's fucking alive. She's completely fine. She planned the whole thing. She planned her. She faked her death and blamed it on him. And like, she's cray cray. And all three of Gillian Flynn's books have like that weird twist that you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Every one of them. And that's what this reminded me of. And then it just threw away the ending. I needed that. I needed that ending.
No.
I was not satisfied.
You'll never be satisfied.
Oh, sorry. Least least favorite song in Hamilton. Anyway, okay.
Oh, she flicked you off, Katie.
It's okay. Okay, so let's.
It's okay. Moving on.
Moving on.
The two timelines, where one was Tiffany and one was Ani.
Mm-hmm.
Did we like this? Did we not like this? How did we feel about this?
This is my favorite part of this book. How she broke it down. How, like, I complain all the time on this fucking podcast about how much I hate when they do this.
Mm-hmm.
She did it right. She did it right.
And I also give props to the audiobook narrator because she made younger Ani sound younger, but not like super young. Like the narrator for It Ends With Us made her sound like she was. She was 14. She was a teenager. She was
not
like
an 8-year-old whiny baby.
Yeah. So I did like the back and forth, and to me, that is another reason why I'm disappointed in the ending, because the payoff wasn't there for that buildup.
Yeah.
Why are you telling me what happened in the two different timelines and not giving me a payoff?
I mean, I wrote a better ending in 2 minutes and she wrote in like 75 pages.
So then, do we think that her going from... So, okay, did y'all know that she... did you look at the physical text and see that she spells her name T-I-F big A?
I saw that.
I
saw that online.
I didn't actually open the book. I just got it so I could show them.
I didn't know that until I got the book.
This is my bullshit flag for those that can't hear it flapping in the wind. It is the bullshit flag. It is such bullshit. It is so pretentious to spell it that way.
Yes.
So pretentious.
In the movie, they call her Finny like they do in the book.
Finny.
Mm-hmm.
But they call it Finny for Tiffany and not Finelli.
Finelli,
I thought they called her Finny because of Finelli.
I did too.
Not Finny because
I always thought it was. I thought it was just a lame, terrible nickname. Right?
I thought it was a good nickname, actually. Finny.
No.
Finelli?
No, it was a lazy nickname by a boy that just wanted her to suck his cock.
Oh, forced to suck his cock.
That's it. He wanted her to do it,
and then tried to force her to do it a second time.
And then he forced her to do it anyway.
And then slapped her.
Okay, more questions, please.
Okay. Let's talk about Luke and Ani. So
fiance.
He's 100% blue blood Republican, old money. He views her as very much a prize. When he talks about the gang rape, I said, this is actually an intelligible note here. When discussing the gang rape, when they're in their early dating, Luke says, Jesus, Ani, I don't know. It was just bad, okay? I know something bad happened to you. I get it. You don't have to remind me every fucking day.
But she doesn't.
Okay, right. And then he constantly reminds her, you're a survivor. She's having a hard time running. Mm-hmm. And he's like, but you're a survivor.
Mm-hmm. The only time
you told me not to ever to talk about this gang rape, but you're telling me I can be a survivor from the school shooting.
My trauma is convenient for you when you want me to be skinny.
When you want me to be skinny, yes. Yeah.
She definitely has an eating disorder, which is another major warning in this book.
Faux show, yeah.
And all of her friends do too. I had a problem with him because he's as much as they try to in this book, they try to make it seem like Ani was using him for having the perfect package. He was using her too.
110%.
In the movie. 110%. In the movie, he doesn't want her, in the book, he doesn't want her to do the show, right? He doesn't want her.
Yep.
He's really mad about it.
In the movie, she doesn't want to do it, and he convinces her. And I was like,
oh.
No.
That's weird.
Yeah. Super weird. I feel like what she went through it's an important story to tell. But I can understand why her partner would feel uncomfortable with that story being told. I'm not saying that that's his place to make that decision.
No.
But I do understand why his family is wealthy and high profile society, whatever. And you're going to put your history out there, and that's not going to look well for the family. I'm not saying that that's right. I'm saying I understand it.
Yeah. I get that.
I mean, it's just...
I kind of thought it was weird that the teacher came back into the story because he didn't even work there when the shooting happened.
It was kind of a one-off, but then I was like, okay, well, maybe he's gonna like help her finish coping. And then like the whole, when they were filming the documentary and her and Mr. Larson went back to Bradley, and then it got like sexual, and then she was like literally in the room where the shooting happened, and she started having a panic attack. I was like, why did we bring him back here? Like this,
I had whiplash.
He didn't need to be involved in this.
That whole storyline,
and I feel like
it was unnecessary. Completely.
And I feel like the reason that he was doing the documentary too was so that he could tell what he knew about Ani's story.
Yeah.
However, the producers of the show, the documentarians, didn't actually know that she was gang raped.
Right.
They didn't know that.
Yeah. Till like her and Dean have that close where she's mic'd up. Like they were clueless. Yeah.
So why was he there? Why was he included when he wasn't even the teacher there when it happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's unnecessary.
Very.
And I really did.
And redundant.
I always have an issue with the teacher and student relationship. You know, even though it was like whatever, 20 years later or 10 years later or whatever.
It's still not okay.
I still have an issue with it. I feel uncomfortable with it.
It's because it's not okay. That's why you feel uncomfortable. That little gut feeling, that's your conscience being like, hey,
because it's a power trip. He was a person of power at one time in her life.
But I don't think maybe I'm reading it wrong, but I don't think he would have been the pursuer. I think if she wouldn't have like pursued him.
He even says that he looked her up. When he started, he looked for her. He says
he did it because he wanted to know which student it was. Not because he wanted to make sure it was Ani. He just wanted to know what student it was. But then he did definitely, deep dive into her Instagram.
But then he started pursuing seeing her.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to pursue seeing her.
But I do not think he would have done it had she not continued to play Crisis Card. She called him at his parents.
She star 67'd him too.
What the fuck?
Can we talk about that? So there's one line, and I have like a good quotes, things to talk about, where Ani says, like, she thinks that he likes me broken regarding Mr. Larson. It's about midway through. And like that, I was like, that really resonated because that's how she sees herself to him, is this victim. And she wants him to fix her when she's just beyond.
And I actually said that out loud to a boyfriend before.
Really?
I've actually,
when I'm glad you're not with that person anymore, because I'm assuming it's not Matt. Otherwise, I might have to.
Not. When I was
up the tractor,
when I was getting my life together after my grandmother had passed, and Arvina's death was really hard on me. And I've told the story before. I don't know if you've heard. I'm sure you've heard it, Katie. And I cut my hair. I signed the papers with the recruiter. And I was in a serious relationship with this man. And he wanted me to stay. And I go, I don't know why you want me broken. I don't know why. I'm trying to fix myself. I had that terrible relationship before you. I'm telling you, being here, being home isn't right for me right now.
Yeah.
Why can't you understand that? And he's just like, why can't I be enough? And it wasn't about him in that moment. It was
later, dude.
It was something about me that I needed to fix.
And now I'm starting to understand why you liked City of Girls so much.
Yeah.
I did not like that book, but that sounds similar.
Yeah. So anyways, sorry.
I feel like
back in the present.
I feel like Mr. Larson's story kind of made it creepier. And it was like further proof that Ani really didn't know who she was, and she didn't know how to grow up.
Yep.
And I don't think this is all just the trauma that she experienced from the rape and from the school shooting. I think some of it is her mom too. Like her mom.
Absolutely.
That's my next question.
Perfect. Give it to us.
Excellent segue.
Just like Ani's Tiffany's relationship with Dina, because Dina does not call her Ani through the entire book. She's the only one that calls her Tiffany
or Tiff.
Or Tiff. Yeah. I would love the narrator's voice of the mom. Like, everybody knows Adina. Everybody knows Adina. And
I'm probably Tina. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of a pain in the ass, annoying.
No, but you're not like that.
You're not Dina at all, friend. No.
I could picture her in my head with that Jersey look to her, and then
sprayed hair, and it's just
Connie Britton.
90s.
Connie Britton plays her in the movie, and she does
casting.
such a good job with it.
Yeah, I'm sure she's brilliant.
I love her.
So the dad, I feel so bad for the dad in this. Like, I feel like he is just shit on left and right. Who plays the dad in the show? Any idea?
They're divorced, and he's not in the picture.
That's stupid.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
It's an easy way out.
One of the things that really bothered me was how Dina just flat out denies that Tiffany was raped when she's like, you were drinking, you should have known better, somebody can't do a blowjob to you. Like,
she literally said, mother, I was in high school once. You don't go to party with boys like that and drink and not know what you're doing.
No, what you're up against. Yeah. So that just was like a gut punch as a mother. And I was like, I can't imagine saying that to my child. Like, I can't imagine that. Like,
it happens. That's all I'm going to say.
Sissy. Hugs.
No, all I'm going to say is there's a lot of parents. There's a lot more parents like that than there are parents like us. That's all I'm saying, gang.
I'd like to believe
and it's happening still.
True. I would like to believe that's not true.
I don't have faith in humanity.
Sorry. What really turned my stomach in all of it was that she made Ani go to the funeral of one of her rapists.
Oh my God. And she's like, this was a terrible tragedy. You have to go. We have to save face.
She was more concerned about how the family looked than and Tiffany was
she knows our values. She knows this family's values.
Nobody wanted to be near them. Surprise! Tiffany freaking tried telling her.
I mean, and also it was uncomfortable because everyone thought Ani was involved. But the truth is, like, you do not go to that funeral. First of all, their lawyer would have told them she can't go to this funeral. Like, this is
absolutely
no. But I cannot. Oh my gosh, that it really turned my stomach. I was like, I cannot imagine. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I know that that's like something Ani holds on to as well. She was nervous to admit what happened to her because everyone will always see them as victims of this tragedy at their
horrific
school.
Shooting. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like they won't appreciate the fact that she was a victim as well. They won't want to hear that story. And also because that's not the narrative that wants to be told, right? They don't want to talk about they don't want to victim blame, which I understand that. Like, when a school shooting happens, you don't want to talk about, well, this is what the bullying that was done to this kid or whatever. Like, that's irrelevant. Don't take a gun to school and shoot people. No, we're not doing that. But in this case, these victims, they were still victims, but they were also aggressors and rapists and horrible people. And that story isn't being told because, well, they died these horrible deaths and,
Well, I mean, it is happening in real life. I mean, look at poor Santa Fe. That school, it's Santa Fe, Texas, where I was living for a good long while. They had a shooting there, and it was a child that was bullied terribly. And he was a child of color, and it was a very white predominant school, and he got relentlessly bullied. He was Muslim. It was not, he wasn't feeling safe. And I'm not saying what he did was right. I'm never saying that's right. I'm saying sometimes people's brains get broken.
Yeah. We had not in our district, but the one at the city closest to us, a 13-year-old killed himself 2 weeks ago from bullying. So I feel like those are the cases that we hear about, the school shootings, the self-inflicted harm. In the book, it says, like, that wasn't the first time that they had to cover for Dean. Like, that wasn't the first time. And then he's on these accolades. The
cafeteria is named after him.
Right. And so we're just willing to brush aside these, indiscretions but at the same time, they were victims of a very this is one of the quandaries of this book. This is why I'm like, do I hate this book?
Yeah.
Or do I love this book?
Okay,
I just don't know.
He definitely has rich white male privilege. I mean, 100%.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, that's a conversation in this whole book.
Yeah.
Her fiance, the teachers, the boys, and how they treat all the girls at the school. It's a huge conversation.
And she's always been an outsider of that world because she didn't grow up wealthy, and she's really pushing herself into that world. And that whole thing about her ring, she didn't want to change the way it looked because she didn't want people to think that she has money. She wants them to know that she came from money, and that's the difference. And I kind of really liked that line, actually. And they use that in the movie too. But oh, sorry. But I lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was going to say.
Because I interrupted you like an asshole. My bad.
I don't know that it was your fault. If you want to blame yourself, you can. But I don't think it was.
A lot of self-blame going on. But you can't fake that forever. And that's proof that she was a sociopath, right? Like, she is creating a narrative. That was...
But it's the narrative her mom told her to create, too.
It's her mom in her head. It goes back to being all fucked up. That's why she can't have normal sex, right?
Yeah. I saw a meme right before we logged in here that said, I've been told to show off what my mom gave me, and then waves in the air my therapy bill.
Oh, I've seen the ones where they shake their meds, right?
I love that.
Their mood stabling meds.
Yeah. I sent it to you guys on our group Instagram.
Yes.
But that's yep. Accurate. I understand that.
It happens.
All right. Let's talk about Tiffany and Arthur. So Arthur is Tiff's first friend at Bradley. He's the one that reaches out to her, invites her to lunch. One thing that I kind of struggled with, the way the author continually describes all of Arthur's faults as far as his physical appearance. Is that how Tiffany saw him, as this sluggo and not
how
this
she
person?
Sees herself.
Yeah. And it, like it's she just keeps reiterating, oh, his skin was greasy, his hair was greasy. She talks about how he gets short of breath doing things and all of these things, and I'm like, why are we emphasizing this? He was literally, I was the new kid, and some girl that I now know 20 years later asked me to sit with her. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah, well, we made fun of cheerleaders, so
but still, like,
and you guys have a best friend that was a cheerleader now, so meh.
We forgive you. There's grace for that.
I forgive you too. Whatever.
Little bit of grace.
Little bit of grace. Anyway, I think that is her trying to convince herself she didn't want to be friends with him.
Yeah.
Because if she's friends with him, she's on the outside. If she's not friends with him and she hates him, she's on the inside.
I think it's all about the perception of what other people will think of her for associating with him. So she's trying to find all the flaws in him. And when they're hanging out a lot and smoking pot and all that, she talks about how much she's gaining weight. And she was still running cross country. So I don't know how much weight she was actually gaining. Who knows?
She probably wasn't gaining a shit ton. She just felt like she was.
Probably. But
she was eating normal amounts for once.
But I think it's interesting because at the end of the book, they reveal that he was trying to find another person to help him. And
he wanted to recruit her.
That's why he befriended her. She was the new girl, and he saw an opportunity. Yeah.
So right before he gets expelled, excuse me, Mr. Larson leaves, and this new English teacher that they have, like, puts Tiffany at the board and has her say, Tiffany, a skanky mall rat. And like, Arthur, like, gets physical with her, and he gets expelled. Like, as I was rereading that, I'm like, holy shit. So then she goes to his house and takes that photo from him.
Yeah.
And I do. Yep, I do genuinely feel like that was Arthur's tipping point, where he was like,
"Yes,
fuck it, it's all going down now. Like, this is
you're
this
done
is what
with
happens."
These fuckers.
Yeah,
you know what?
Yeah.
This is what they deserve.
Yep,
they did this to me.
Yeah. They
I could
pushed
definitely
me, and
see that.
Here's where I'm at. Yep, yeah.
I know that was a bitch move by Tiffany,
and then for her to keep it all those years too, and then
again a bitch move.
In the movie, she steals a hat that belonged to his dad, and she gives it right back to him. Like, she doesn't even leave the house with it.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
That whole thing doesn't happen.
I got you.
All right, so let's talk about the shooting.
Yes, please. Let's get that over with, shall we?
All of
Trigger warning, gang.
Yes. We talked about Columbine, all of us. So, you know, when we think about Columbine when we were that age, now for me having children this age, this is very much, and like we live in a very rural district. Like our school literally gets time off to deer hunt. Yeah. So the accessibility to firearms is exponential in our district.
It's real.
And so like as I was reading all this, it was just like all of this coming up and like this could happen. And like it was just so freaking hard to like separate the fiction from reality, because this happens in our lives a lot. And it was just like a lot when I was reading it, listening to it. So
I think the first time as a parent I had that realization and struggle is, and it's not funny, I laugh when I'm uncomfortable. Piper, I've told this on here, Piper came home one day and asked me what she was supposed to do if she was in the bathroom in the middle of a shooting. And I had to show my 2 second grader and my kindergartner how to balance themselves and stay on a toilet seat without moving.
Yep.
And that was the first time I thought about homeschooling.
Yeah.
That was the first time I was like, they don't need to go to public school, right?
Yeah.
Like
when Leah
Texas,
was in 5th grade, they were rebuilding their elementary school. No, she was in 4th grade. So they were in trailers. Like Leah's class was in trailers and Chloe was in the main building. And that's one thing that just like, because I mean the trailers had like phones. They weren't part of the intercom system, anything of that. And I'm like, somebody could attack them. Somebody could attack the main building and the kids out. Like it's just so many things were going through my head.
It's like so many what ifs. Yeah.
So many what ifs. So many what ifs. So, okay. So then Tiffany kills Arthur, stabs him with a steak knife, stabs him. I didn't know how to respond to that. I didn't know, like, am I glad that she did that? Or how?
Yeah. I think it was an instinct for her. Go ahead, April, because
I was going to say, if you're ending where the actual ending, then that was her way of getting rid of all of the witnesses who actually knew the truth.
Yeah.
I thought it was an interesting choice that she stabbed instead of shot, because stabbing requires so much force, and it's
a sign of her sociopathic
almost
ways.
More aggressive, because you actually wanted to do it, physically touch that person.
Yeah. And she talks about it like hitting his sternum and the knife reverberating.
I mean, you would know better than us because you are a nurse practitioner, but I would assume that getting to that point would take a lot of force to get the knife that deep.
Women stab like this. Men stab up. So just physiologically, like
what's better?
That's good to know.
I mean, just aim for a vital organ, no matter if you're going up or down. But women stab down, men stab up. So to like talk up, to hear her say she stabbed here and then she pulled it back out and then she sliced his throat and then the third one she hit his sternum and she could feel it reverberating. Like
it's very violent.
Very violent. Very violent.
It feels intentional though.
Yeah. So, before the shooting, when she's hanging out with Arthur, she's there at Arthur's house and she touches the gun. And like that comes up by the attorneys and the cops. And then like they find the yearbook and all of that. And I think with all of that and how Molly's ending, like that would have been so much better with Molly's ending too. Like that she did orchestrate it all, that she was like, yeah, I did do this, and got rid of Arthur at the end, for no witnesses. So
a plot hole for me is that I cannot think of the girl's name, but the one that he lets go when Ani stays.
The shark.
She had a weird nickname.
The shark.
Yeah.
Shark.
Why was she never interviewed?
Right. Yeah.
She's
like one of the 5. Yeah. Like she was there.
She's important.
And they talk about like the friends of the 5 kids that died. Like, and they never talk about the shark. Like her boyfriend was one of the 5. Like Teddy is one of like the soccer player. He sits at their table. Like,
right.
Yeah.
That is a very good plot point.
Right. That bothered me.
She would be more, I think she would have been more useful in my variation of the story than the teacher, because she would have a lot more details. She would know Tiffany's past, and she could definitely bring Tiffany / Ani down.
Literally anyone would be more useful than the teacher. He wasn't even fucking there.
Yeah. Yep.
It makes zero sense.
Sexual tension. All right. So, at the end of the documentary, Ani says she forgives Dean, and they get that on tape, and all is sunshine and roses. And then the director calls back and is like, "Oh no, by the way, you were actually mic'd up, and we heard everything."
She knew.
She knew.
Yeah,
because she's a sociopath.
She told him
everything.
She told the director to check.
Yeah.
If the mics were hot.
Absolutely. She's been planning this.
Yeah. I also didn't like that part of the movie because she confronts him privately and records it on her phone. So she doesn't have that public, and
it won't be as official.
Right. And he's a different guy in the movie. He's got daughters and he's a loving husband, and in the book he says my wife's an idiot. Like he's
trash in the book.
He was married to her for the package, right? Like
yeah, and he even says he doesn't want kids, and his wife's pregnant through the miracle of science, and his public will pay for all of it, and he says all that.
He did not deserve a forgiveness. He did not deserve it.
It wasn't a real one.
Especially didn't deserve for her to have to hide her truth.
Right.
And they filmed it. They didn't, it's just audio, but I would stick that in the documentary and be like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Exactly.
All the middle fingers.
All the middle fingers. Rain them down. Just raining them down.
It's raining middle fingers.
Hallelujah, it's raining middles. Amen. I like long fat.
Oh man, I got her started now.
Wait, though. I read a meme that said it's raining men and let the bodies hit the floor is basically the same song.
From 2 different point of views.
Yes, that is true.
Like, okay.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So a couple good quotes to kind of wrap things up. Okay. So the one quote, it's relatively early in the book, page 95. Ani says her therapist tells her because she gets really thirsty when she gets worked up and when she's thinking about things. And she said, if you feel you're thirsty when you're not thirsty, it could indicate an important need is not being met. Like, how profound was that? Like, that you are, like, she was like somatizing all of these issues. Like,
probably, but it just made me think of that part in Glee when Rachel meets her biological mom and she's like, I feel thirsty. And she's like, whenever I was like sad, my dad's got me water. And
it's a special Star Cup now.
And her mom's Idina Menzel, and she ends up taking Quinn's baby. Jump the shark. That's when the
and then has an affair with Puck.
The mom stuff. Does?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that season. Oh my.
But we're not fans of Puck because Puck's a child molester.
Word.
I just thought of something I wanted to say that you and I talked about, Katie, but can I insert it here before
As you were?
Yeah. So I really had an issue with when she went to Planned Parenthood.
That was my next statement. Are we connected? Are we one brain?
You might be. Yes. From that small magical town of Mansfield.
Can I have my part back now, please?
What?
Can I have my part back now, please?
Are you firing Katie?
No, I meant like my part of the brain. I need it.
But yes.
April says, I keep it.
That was, yeah. Is it rape if you can't remember what happened? Tiffany said to the nurse. Oh no, I'm not qualified to answer that.
Absolutely, you fucking are.
So I texted Katie and I was like,
"Absolutely, you are."
I was like, Katie, can you clarify this? Because I would think that if somebody said that you wouldn't be able to let them leave. Like you would need to have a conversation at that point.
Yeah,
you have to call. She's a mandatory reporter, right? Because this is a child.
Because not even because she's a child. Child suspicion of rape. You are a mandatory reporter. Not even like if.
But her teacher should have reported it too then.
Oh, don't even get me started on that. Let's just spend the night.
That absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is why he should have been fired, not because he tried to get the other kid expelled. You don't have a kid sleep over at your house. No, absolutely not. And if you know a student was sexually assaulted, you 100% have to report it, and not to the principal. That is a report to the police.
Yep. Yeah. Same in nursing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We are not mandatory reporters as librarians in a public library. It's choice. And I've had bosses that say, if you suspect abuse, that's up to you. And then I've had bosses that have been like, don't report because then they won't feel safe here. And I'm like, no, if I suspect abuse or if the kids tell me abuse, I'm going to tell them what I tell my students. Whatever you say to me is in confidence, but know that if someone is hurting you or you are hurting yourself, I need to make sure that you are safe.
Yep. Yeah.
And this doctor, was it a doctor?
No, it was a nurse. Because then she brings back a whole bag of rubbers and like, you can have fun with glow-in-the-dark condoms. And you're like,
no, it was the doctor that she asked. And then the nurse gave her condoms.
Yeah.
There was two different, but I couldn't believe the doctor let her go. Like, I understand that you can't do a rape kit without like the whole, I don't really know what the whole process is, but on Grey's Anatomy, they have to like keep asking, can we like go to this next step? Can we go to this next step? Can we go to this next step? And they can't just like do it without your permission.
Yeah. There's like a whole process to it. And you have to have like a specially sexual assault nurse examiner.
Trained, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Just be like, I'm not qualified.
That.
No,
fuck you ain't. Yeah.
This is Planned fucking Parenthood. Who else is gonna fucking tell me?
Right.
Exactly.
Right. I was so angry about that. I was like, that was her asking someone for help.
Yep.
A lot of people failed Ani in this book.
Lots of people. Her parents, her teachers, caregivers, everybody. No wonder she's a sociopath. Everybody. That's all I got. I'm out of wine, too.
Sad face.
Yeah. I didn't do a Goodreads because I'm just now getting into Goodreads. I gave
it 3.5, which I think was being generous, mostly because it had parts that like really sucked me in.
Mm-hmm.
I think a 3 is solid.
Yeah, I'd probably give a solid 3. I like the writing, and I loved the audio narrator. I feel like
the audiobook narrator carried this book. I'm not gonna lie.
And I think that's when I texted you guys. Oh no, that was recently where I was like, do the authors get to pick their narrators?
Oh, okay. So I can actually go into more detail about this if you'd like.
We're already over time.
Okay, I'll explain later. I'll make a bonus episode about it for our Patreon.
There you go.
But Molly, you keep promising to do these things and you don't do them. So if you're going to promise it, you have to do it.
I will
put your money where your mouth and your Patreon is, boo-boo.
You know I have no money.
We are making a Patreon this season. It will come out. And when it does come out, spoiler, one of the things that you can subscribe to is my reviews. I'm going off of Goodreads, and I'm going to have Patreon-only reviews of our pod books and whatever else I read. So
because April's brilliant.
I don't know if that's true. I'm pretty sure of the three of us that Katie's the smartest, but
I'm saying I didn't say you were the smartest. I said you were brilliant.
Katie, and I don't think any of us massive degrees and the fact that she like knows medicine.
Medicine
we
is hard.
We literally have the same degrees. You talk about all these massive degrees like you don't have a master's degree too, boo-boo.
Don't you have 2 master's degrees, Katie?
I have 1 master's degree and 2 bachelors.
Okay, well, fine then.
And possibly a doctorate on the way. She has
okay, but master's degree in nursing, master's degree in nursing, master's degree in library science.
Both science.
Listen, I had to ask the librarian yesterday where to find a book. And I literally was one aisle over because I forgot how the alphabet works. So never.
Do you want to hear a secret?
None of us know how the alphabet works.
I'm 41 years old. I've been a librarian since 2011. When I shelve books, I still sing to myself A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, G, right.
Same. I sing the alphabet.
We all do it.
Okay.
We all do it. All right. Well, it's getting late for all of us.
You forgot how the alphabet works.
It is bedtime.
It is bedtime.
I worked all day.
Yeah, you did.
I built 2 shelves and redid our closet and cleaned out my chicken coop. I got my cardio with my chicken coop this morning. Yeah.
Did you guys see the meme I texted you about how men are going to start wanting women that can chase chickens now?
I know how to do that.
This gal, I'm going to get Molly into the chicken. So
yeah, I don't want chickens. No, thank you.
I shoveled a lot
April
of chicken
doesn't like
today.
birds.
I know.
I don't understand chickens. They only have one hole. They like poop eggs, but they also like poop, and they like pee poop, and I don't like it.
It's called the cloaca.
I don't care what it's called. It's fucking weird. You need more holes.
You made that word up. It's a made-up word. Okay, we're getting the fuck out of here. We love you guys. Thank you for joining us. We will see you guys next time. We are reading next week.
This book, Illuminate. Oh, fuck me. I just dropped everything. Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. And when this pod episode comes out for Illuminate, not the one you're listening to right now, when Illuminate comes out, go on to Instagram. I am going to do a story where I'm going to show off this book. Because if you haven't read this book, you have to see the inside of it to really understand what's happening. It's really different.
Ooh, wild.
Yeah, so go on Instagram stories after Illuminate comes out, and I will post the fucking thing. Okay. Wild. And then also check social media. We will be releasing, well, probably by this point we've already released, but our February reads will be pinned to the top. And we said we were going to announce the contest this week, but here's the thing, guys. We film on our schedule and not on when episodes come out. So you can check social media today and it will be on there today. But otherwise we'll announce it next week.
Whoops.
My bad. Katie, we love you. We love you
for joining us.
Thank you for coming on again.
Yes. Thanks for hosting.
You're welcome.
Is this the 6th episode you've been on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
So my repertoire, what did we say it was? Kids with Cancer, Kids Who Die, Bridgerton, Weird Subway Sex. Mm-hmm. It's varied. Dragons next, bitches. Dragons next.
Dragons next.
What about a fairy book?
Yeah, I like fairies too.
What is that?
That's that video I sent you guys.
Oh, the encyclopedia.
Video of fairies?
Okay. Yeah, I like fairies.
It's fairy porn!
Yay.
Wow, April. Okay, we're getting the hell out of here. We are an hour and 13 minutes in, gang.
Seriously. Okay. Bye, everybody!
Bye! Thank you for joining us on Book Besties. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This week's episode featured special guest host Nurse Katie. The views discussed here are those of Molly, April, and Katie, not of those of anyone else. Today's book was Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll. Your book besties are Molly Biggs and April Watkins. Editing by Thomas Watkins, and music is Sleep Sweetly by Prigida. Don't forget to follow Book Besties on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you would like to contact the Book Besties, please email us at bookbestiespod@gmail.com or our website, www.bookbestiespodcast.com.